up, you guys? Welcome back to another Lady Savage video. Today I'm going over something that I get asked so much. Right, people usually say something to me, it's either a client or just a person on a live or whatever, and they often say, Crystal, I want to make a casserole, or I want to make a dish for my family, or I want to make this, that, or the other, but I don't know how to figure out the macros for an entire dish. So I'm gonna help you guys figure that out right now. It seems a little bit complicated. It is the easiest thing. Once you guys get the hang of it, it's so easy. So here we go. I wrote all of the kind of examples right over here, or the steps on what you wanna do over here, and then the example over here. So the first thing you wanna do is take the dish that you plan on baking with, whatever size, whatever you wanna do. You want to weigh that on your scale. So we're gonna say an empty scale is 13 ounces. It could be whatever. You want to write that whatever that is down to the exact. So if you're doing it in grams, then make sure you're doing 7,000 whatever. But make sure it's exact. So you make sure you write it down also, because you probably will forget. Now the second thing you want to do is just add your ingredients to the dish. Make it, do all the things, but know how much you're putting in there. So this is going to be the breakdown of what I would have put in my casserole type dish, whatever. So we have 32 ounces of ground beef, 12 eggs, and 4 ounces of cheese. I did 3 things just to make it really easy for the video, but you can add 12 things in there if you want to, but just make sure you write that all down. And then you want to figure out the macros of these food items. So this is the macro for these are the macros for the entire dish. So all of this is what this is. The next thing you want to do is, after everything's been done, being baked, being cooked, being whatever, you want to weigh the dish with the food in it. So that's going to be right here. So it's going to be 61 ounces, the dish and the food together. Then the next thing you want to do is subtract the weight of the dish, which is the weight of the dish. So 61 ounces minus 13 is going to be 48 ounces of food. Now you would say, Crystal, you could just do the math up there and it says all together it's going to be 48 ounces of food or whatever. Sometimes you lose weight. Sometimes you might drain some of the fat. I would not recommend draining fat because you won't have the exact macros. But sometimes as things cook, they actually get lighter or heavier or so on and so forth. So I added the ground beef and the cheese, and I left out the weight of the eggs. So it's 48 ounces, just the food by itself. So what you're gonna wanna do after that is divide the weight of the food into servings. So if you're like, okay, this is 48 ounces, we're going to divide that because we want there to be 8 servings. I'm gonna have 1 serving every day of the week plus 1 for my husband. So you're gonna have 8 servings. That is gonna be 6 ounces per serving. So whenever you go into the dish and you get out your portion, you can weigh it on Wednesday and say, this is my serving, it's 6 ounces. You know exactly how much you want to do. You can do it in ounces, you can do it in grams, you can really do it in whatever you want to do, but doing ounces for this option is probably the best. So you now know that each serving is going to be 6 ounces. So the next thing you want to do is divide the macros by the amount of servings you want to do. So you go over here and you say, this is the total macros for the entire dish. I'm going to divide that by 8 because there's 8 servings. Now this is now the new macros for each serving. You can put this into your macro tracker and say ground beef casserole or whatever you want to name it, and you can say 1 serving equals this, or you can put 6 ounces equals this, so that if you want to break it down per ounce, you can do that later on as well. So we get the whole total now. It's going to be the entire thing, 6 ounce serving. It's going to be 34 grams of fat, 31.5 grams of protein, 0.5 carbs, and 435 calories. This may seem really simple to some people. This may seem really complex to others. If you don't know the serving size that you're gonna wanna have, you can do the weight of the food by itself and divide these macros per ounce so that you know, okay, the entire thing is gonna be this many calories, but I might only want 3 ounces one day, or I might want 16 ounces or something like that. You can divide it down per ounce rather than per serving if you prefer. Super easy. So again, just to reiterate, you're gonna wanna weigh the dish. You're going to want to know exactly how much the dish weighs. Then you're gonna cook all the food, you're gonna weigh the dish with the food and the dish, subtract the weight of the actual dish, and then break down all of the macros for the entire dish, then break it down per serving or per ounce or per gram or however you want to break it down. So that is that. As simple as it is, people get really caught up in wondering how to do it. Now I will say one last thing is with a casserole, you cannot evenly disperse everything. So you can't say there's 1 egg in this piece with 4 ounces of ground beef. You don't know. It's just a mixture. It's just a blob. This is not something that we would do for a competition prep or something where you're really trying to be on point. Now, if you're just trying to lose weight, or if you're just trying to gain mass or whatever, just track your macros in general. This is going to be an okay way to do it. But you do not want to have to do this if you're doing like a competition prep and you're trying to be exact on the macros, because you don't know that it is for sure per serving that each one is broken down exactly the same, that there's exactly the same amount of cheese, exactly the same amount of eggs, so on. So this is as close as you can get to the macros unless you're going to make an individual dish per meal. So this is how I figure it out. This is how I do it for me and Robert. And when we do things like this, we're totally confident in we're okay being a couple grams here or there. But again, we don't ever do this when Robert's in a competition prep. It's just something that we do when we're just regularly counting macros or trying to maintain or build lean mass. So that's it. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer them and try to make things simplified for you. So we'll check in with you guys next time.